Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie Marie of J Marie Booklet. So today I am making a video, just a brief description of the different types of secretaries in the medical field. So the first type of secretary, of course, is the hospital secretary. That's what most of you all are. And the hospital secretary is responsible for mainly managing the patient's record, and you will be admitting, when a patient is admitted to your floor, you will put the chart together, you will break down the chart, you will put in orders. Mainly, all you're doing is looking at their orders. You're handling their chart, whether it's electronic or if it's a physical chart. So that's the main thing you do. Now you do other things. Unit secretaries do a lot of other things, but that's one of the main things that you all do. The second type of secretary is a medical office secretary, and those are the ones you see in a doctor's office. And they mainly schedule appointments, they handle billing, they handle insurance matters. They are the ones when you go into the doctor, they'll get your insurance information, want to see your insurance card. They'll call, schedule the appointment. So they'll call you, remind you of your appointment. It just all depends how it works. Like my doctor, the secretaries in the front, they don't schedule. It's the secretaries in the back. They do the scheduling, and then they do the follow up. And there go my TV. My TV had froze. It had froze. And so they'll do the scheduling and the follow up. So mainly the ones in the front handle the billing, insurance, taking that information, answering phone calls, and then the ones in the back, they schedule, do the prescriptions, like write out the prescription for the doctor, schedule, like if you need a procedure done in the doctor. So like I get certain procedures done in my doctor's office, things like that. So medical secretaries, they do different things. It just depends on how big the doctor's practice is. And then another is the medical records clerk, and they handle when the patient is discharged from the hospital. So once they're gone from the hospital, the unit secretary will break down the chart and it goes to medical records. And that's where they come in. And they're called medical record clerks, secretaries. They go. Everybody got like 1,000 names. Okay, unit secretaries, unit clerks, health coordinators. It got 1,000 names, and so they just maintain the patient records, and if anyone needs a copy or if anyone needs any particular thing. So if another hospital needs medical records from this hospital, that's who you go through. If your doctor needs if you were in a hospital and you go see your doctor needs those medical records, want to know what was done, what was your results, what your labs looked like when you were there, when you came in versus when you left. They go through them. So that's what they handle. They handle everything once the person leaves. Now, as far as in the doctor's office, I'm not sure who handles it. I don't know if it's just a regular secretary, if they have a different department, because I know like you call your doctor's office, they have a billing person, things like that. So I'm not sure if it's handled the same way like it is in the hospital, or if the front secretary handles it, the back secretary. I'm not sure who handles it. And but they mainly handle the records once you leave, once you're not there. And the records can always be physical, they can always be electronic, just like in the hospital. And the final one is a transcriptionist, and you don't hear too much about them anymore, mainly because most transcriptionist jobs are overseas. They're done by people overseas. But a transcriptionist is a person who creates a written record of the doctor's dictation. So the doctor, so what the doctor would do is they would call a number, dial a number, and they will call, and then they will start dictating. So this is Dr. Smith. I regarding Jane Doe room, blah 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 blah, and they would dictate, history or whatever. They're here for this pleasantly confused white male, things like that. And so they would dictate the visit. So they saw the patient this, the stomach was this, and they, just describing everything. They would dictate it, and then the person on the other end would listen to it, listen to the recording, and then type out what was said. Put in the console for Doctor so and so. They would type all that out, and then and we got that all the time. I don't know if we had an in-house, like at the hospital, if we had an in-house, because the doctors did it all the time. They would always call a number, and then eventually they started phasing in where the doctors, like in our system, the doctors, because matter of fact, the ICU tested it. They were the ones that first started it, and the doctors would call. I'm sorry, the doctors would pull up the system, go to the patient's chart, and go in the part where they would type in their notes, progress notes, and they had a microphone attached, and then they would dictate that way. And that way, they're not calling a third party who would go and listen and then dictate. They would just speak it. And hell, we got that here. Okay, I could do that on my computer. Okay, so so that's the new thing. Um, and then that way it's right in that patient's chart. You know what I'm saying? It's not going through a third party who didn't understand what patient is this. Is right there in the chart. So like I say, you really don't have too many jobs for transcriptionists anymore. It used to be plentiful, and not anymore. Most of them are overseas. But regardless, each type of secretary, each person plays a role in keeping the medical facility running smoothly, and everybody matters. So that's the different types of secretaries that you'll find in the healthcare field. If you got any questions, you can put them below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.